This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pornian Bakery. If you're located in the Pornian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pornian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone can podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's surprisingly a short week. I guess we did technically do this on Monday, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, nothing really too big happened this week. So I was kind of like, all right, because I'm busy tomorrow, so we can't do it tomorrow. But I just have a couple things on my list. But you wanted to start off with a video?
Not a video. Like I was going to show you something, and then we can talk about it.
Okay, cool. How you show me?
It's right here.
Oh, snap. Yo, how's it been? Yo, bring it forward. Bring it forward so you can see. Oh, VR, sick. Okay, how is it? How is it? Have you used it yet?
I haven't had too much time with it, but I have used a little bit of it, yes.
Okay, all right, let's go into it. How's the experience?
So
I'm stoked.
The only game I've really tried was Gran Turismo.
Okay, yeah. Is it just like we said? It's like you can look around and like
Yeah, you can look around.
Okay.
You can look around. Since I don't have the wheel, I'm still using the controller. So you're in the cockpit seat, basically.
Okay.
It automatically puts you into the cockpit seat of the car, and you have full like 360 kind of viewing.
Can you look behind you? Like you can look fully,
you can look behind you. You have your side mirrors or your rear view mirror. You can look at those things as you're driving.
Wow. That's cool, bro.
Yeah.
But you haven't played that canoe one that you were saying before?
I didn't get that game yet. I'm just because again, I don't know how much do I like I won't spend on it other games yet until I get used to it.
Okay. Okay.
And like, how do I like it or things like that? So far it's been pretty good. I only did the driving game. I do want to try other games to see like quality wise how much
for sure
different like visually. I know like some things visually look better in some other games. So the driving game, there is because like I'm playing on the 4K, and then when you put the VR, you're not getting the same quality. It is a little bit little bit downgraded because there's so much going on. And it's got also like it's called precision rendering, where it's like where you're looking at renders more than what's around you.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. To save on like instead of rendering the whole thing. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, so far it's been pretty good. Yeah, I mean, like as someone who's never experienced VR, I think you're gonna notice the downgrade in quality, but you're also, at least for this game, but you're going to, but you get the whole game. Like you're playing, it's the whole game in VR basically.
Even like the menus and stuff, and like, obviously.
Well, the menus are all going to be, they're not going to be in VR. They're just going to be like a big screen kind of thing, right? It depends on how big you want to
be. But you're still wearing the suit, like the thing,
the headset, cool. Yeah. So nice. I think there was a showroom, so you can like pick a car and just like you can walk around the car and just look at it, like in.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, now that you've experienced VR, It's all going to be like essentially the same. It's like the quality of the visuals. But my question is now, how addicted do you think people are going to be with this world? You know what I mean? Because it's so immersive when you're like looking through it,
I don't.
or you don't think it's that immersive yet because you're only playing Gran Turismo,
Yeah,
right? But like
I'm
if you
not
played the
saying no,
kayak
no. I don't
before,
want to say that. Okay, it is an immersive thing, but is it consumer friendly enough to be like such a big hit? I don't think it's there yet.
or what do you mean?
I think it's just because there's too much. Even though compared to the first PlayStation, the VR headset, like there's so many
Yeah.
wires. This has very little amount of things, but it's still like you got to put the thing on. It's like you have to get it right every time.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not like if I just wore glasses or something like that. That it just automatically
Right.
like the convenience
No,
is getting there. It's not
yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
enough to be like getting, I say, like normal kind of consumers. It's gonna be
Yep,
people
yeah,
who
yeah,
are
yeah.
into this kind of stuff.
Totally, totally. It's sort of like what was the one I used that one time when we were at the Microsoft store?
I think maybe it was like an
HTC?
HTC
Oh,
Vive or something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my only hang up with VR where I was like, "Oh, how do you get this?" And you're like, "You have to build a custom computer and then you need the wires and then you need the space in order to like
Hmm.
get in there." No, I totally agree with you that convenience-wise, it's not there yet, but the people that are actually playing the game, it's like this is such the next level. It almost seems like not archaic, but it's like we haven't tapped into this yet. Like, because imagine playing God of War, but with the VR headset.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you. Like, on a consumer level, like everyone using it, it needs to be way easier.
Yeah.
You know, just like a plug and play kind of
Hmm.
thing, right?
Hmm.
But like calibrating's too much, right? But for
You
the
don't have
people that
to.
are actually, oh yeah,
You don't have to do calibrating almost not necessarily every time, but then when you're putting it on every day, right, or whenever you're putting it on, you do have
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
kind of like make sure it's all
No, no, for sure, for
positioned
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
correctly, right? Like they compared to the first one, which came out like 6 or 7 years ago, their first
Okay,
VR. There were so many wires involved, in like
for sure. Yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
and
Yeah.
like it's only one wire to the PS5. This new one.
Nice,
So it
nice.
makes
Okay.
that simple. There's not enough. There's not too much wiring. So but it's just putting on the thing and leveling it and stuff like that. But
What about like the, yeah, yeah, you're saying?
so there was there's on the front is they're all cameras. So they're supposed to be, they'll like scan your room to get your play area, and then you can like kind of edit it to like the exact spacing that you want it to use. So if you
Okay.
walk out of the zone, it automatically show like it can show you the real world. Like it'll turn on those cameras to show you what's like you've crossed your boundary.
Oh, that's super cool. Okay, okay, cool. So like they didn't have that.
No.
I don't think they have that for other ones. So if you bump into something, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
But at least it'll switch on, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm actually in
Yeah.
the
Like the first
room.
one was like way too many people were complaining because it was like it's not just the VR. You had to have like the PlayStation Eye to, and you have to be
Mm.
positioned in front of it so it knows your like 3D spacing and stuff like that. So there was too many peripherals you needed to make this thing work properly in the first one. So this one you don't need anything. You just need the headset.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. Does it come with the handhelds?
Yes.
Okay. Have you used those yet?
No, there isn't a game. Well, Gran Turismo is just
Okay.
doesn't use
Okay.
that.
I wonder if it's only because you've played Gran Turismo versus like the other ones that are just straight VR specific.
And like Gran Turismo is like specifically like sitting based, right? It's not
Yeah,
a
right.
walking based one.
Totally. Totally.
So
Totally.
there are other
So
demos I have downloaded, which I will be trying out.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So those ones, when you hit those levels, I'm wondering what your impression will be then,
Yeah. Yeah.
because this one's just straight like sitting, like
Yeah.
you said,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying about the addiction is like when you're in that world, like I still remember the one where it's like you're on top of a mountain and then you pick up a stick and then you're throwing the stick and the dog brings it back to you, right? And then I was like, oh my God, this is nuts. And then I started playing around like if I throw it off the cliff, will the dog jump off the cliff too? So I threw it off the cliff, and it's like, yeah, it brought it back. Like it didn't kill the dog, but like
Right.
you start playing and like, what does this world mean, right? Because you're only playing the driving, right, which is like linear.
Yeah.
So I wonder what you're gonna think like in the kayak game or like these other
Mm-hmm.
simulated game where you're like, let me test the boundaries of this thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I think that's where people start to get lost in it because you're like, this might be cooler than the real world.
Yeah, you can get.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see it. Like if like GT7's a really good starting point to just kind of show you like the driving aspect, but then but you're
right,
only
but it
it's a
wasn't
sitting thing.
VR.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't
Yeah.
like this is what the world would be like. So I wonder what your impression will be. We'll talk about it next week and you start playing those demos.
Yeah.
But I feel like the addiction could definitely be there of like wanting to stay in that world, especially if they make it so like Easter egg heavy. Like the developers, if they're like, if they create a game where it's like, there's so much in here, but we're not going to tell you where it is.
Right.
So that people are going to stay in there trying to find out like what are the secrets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Some people even talk about like
Yeah.
there is potential like motion sickness and things like that could
Oh yeah, of course,
could
totally.
occur
Yeah.
in these sort of things. But I didn't feel
I don't
anything.
know, like,
Someone mentioned that about the GT7, but I didn't feel that.
No, yeah, I couldn't see that unless it was like.
But like now with the
maybe.
GT7, it's like you because you're sitting in the cockpit seat, your hands like in the game, your hands are on a steering wheel. You need a steering wheel now.
Right? So like now get that steering wheel, bro. And then you're like, I'm actually in this thing. You could feel it. It's like it's gonna be imagine like because the steering wheel will offer tension. So as you're driving, it would be like, oh like trying to try you're like, I'm so lost in this now. You know?
Yeah.
Especially when they add in the haptics. And that's why I asked about like the handhelds and stuff. Because imagine like as you're picking something up, you can feel the tension of like having to hold on to that stick as you throw it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they didn't have the haptics back then when I played it. It was just like click and then you're holding.
Oh yeah,
it.
they had a right for the
They had,
HTC
like,
Vive.
for the HTC.
Even the other controllers for the first PlayStation was just those Move controllers, PlayStation Move, like it was just like a stick with
No,
the
I don't
like a
remember.
light bulb thingy on the top or something like that. But these ones are actually like meant for like the hands. I don't know how to explain it. I forgot to bring it to show you, but it's like
it's like yeah, no, you're saying it holds well.
it's
Like,
it's for your
yeah.
hands, yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool.
And it like knows where it is once you've turned them on. So like you can because you can switch between real world viewing or in-game viewing, right?
Oh, that's great.
So it's like, okay, I just want to know where I'm at. So I just turn that on and then I can see where
Whoa, wait a minute. If you can switch to real world view, what if they start introducing games that are AR?
Maybe. I
Like you know what I'm saying? Like you'll be.
I'm not
you'll be
sure
in
like
your-
the connection to that, but yeah, it's possible. Well, they kind
Right,
of were
because-
doing it when they were scanning the room. You're in the real world view and you can see like the mesh building up around you. Yeah.
There you go. So that's the first stage of it. But once they've integrated my best example is Pokemon Go, because the way they've done it in that one, you can it's still rudimentary, but you can look at the camera and you could see the real world background with the Pokemon there. And then
but
'cause
the
you're battling it.
only caveat is the real world is black and white. It's not in color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause I don't think they
whatever.
were planning it to do it for AR, so I think they're just sticking to VR.
but I'm sure the
Maybe they can. I mean,
the software is still there.
yeah. Maybe they
Wait,
can.
one second. I just realized I unplugged my computer.
Ooh, the power.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe that's what's going on. I was like, how come it's like 90%? Yeah, when I was like setting up and
Oh, okay,
anyways,
okay.
yeah. So I feel like the technology will still be there though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it'll still be. It's sort of like the chips in the iPhone. We haven't utilized them yet, but they're in there.
Yeah, it'll get.
So it's like
yeah. There will be games that'll look better, but I think we're not there to the point like how PS5 games look on a TV. We're not there yet.
Well, yeah, all right, yeah. That's a given though. It's like it's still version 2, right? We're on PS5, fifth version,
Yeah.
right? This is just like
But
VR
they
number
will
2.
still sell more units than the first one. Like it's much more. There's a more convenient level to it, but it's not enough to get like I think regular consumers kind of thing. We're not there yet.
Mm. No, yeah, for sure, for sure. Like waiting till the tech gets even smaller, and then it just
I mean,
becomes like
it's
straight
pretty
black.
light too. It's pretty light. It's actually.
But it still looks pretty big. Like even when you showed it on camera, it's like, oh, that's probably gonna take up like most of your face, like the front part of your face. But if you had it like sunglasses, that would be crazy.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah, totally, yeah, for sure. Yeah, see, pairing this with the haptics, it's wild, man.
Yeah, I did
Like,
feel a little bit of haptics. There's haptics on the the headset, right? So like if you bump into the wall, you feel like a little bit of
a little bit of a yeah. But okay, but this is the thing. It's like if you add all of these things, because we have 5 senses, right? And you're already there's only 2 senses you're not doing, which is taste and smell. You have tactile touch, you have sight, and you have sound. We're basically there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if you, I don't know how you're gonna integrate taste and smell, but like this, like we're in that world. You know what I'm saying? Like how many more?
Well, I think that'll probably like the having the chip in your head and like releasing
taste and smell. Yeah. True. See, it's like we are so close to just being fully in the digital world. Especially with this, like now that you've experienced it, it's like, oh, this is the gateway,
right?
You know.
Well, this is my first VR experience too, so it's not.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's okay. So this is the thing, because I watch people who are really into this, like Brian Redband and Duncan Trussell, like friends of Joe Rogan, and they both have VR. They're obsessed with VR because all their friends hop online, so they go into like cafes. So imagine, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're just living in that world, bro.
Right,
they're like, let's just show up at the cafe, and then they're just hanging out, like talking as if we're talking right now, except in the VR world.
Right.
Imagine if you, me, and everyone else got VRs, and then instead of doing this, like you're literally sitting in front of me.
Right.
Trippy. But then what's even trippier is when the power goes out. Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, then you gotta
like a blackout, like internet's down. Like, what does this even mean at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like the one thing we all need is the internet. You feel like you're in the Stone Age without the internet.
Yeah.
Even more so than power. Power, it's like, okay, the power's out. I'm just gonna like read a book. Like you kind of accept that everything's down. But when the internet goes, I don't know if maybe this is not how you feel, but this is how I feel. It hurts more if the internet's down than the power. Because the power, you're kind of like, okay, well, I can't do anything. I have to go do something else. But when the internet's down, you're like, come on, come back up. Come on, come back. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's like, it's the one thing. Even if you have like, movies on your laptop, there's still like an itch. Do you feel that too? Like if the power's out, it's like, okay, I'll just sleep. You know, it's sort of like that. But if the internet's down, it's like, well, I could do other things, but you're like, oh, well, it's not like I have the internet.
Right.
This, you know? Yeah. I feel like we're so connected to the internet. It's wild, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it brings a lot of convenience to a lot of people.
Connection.
Yeah, the connection.
Yeah. Like, especially if you lived in, like, rural nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you rely on seeing your friends through this VR thing.
Yeah. Like, think about it. I think it's much more... there's always a leap in technology for those areas, too, for rural areas, right? In other parts of the world. Where the internet and the cell phones became such a convenient thing. You don't have to have a computer and a webcam to see somebody. You just
Yeah,
use your phone, right?
totally.
It
Yeah, for
the,
sure.
you it became so much more better and convenient and much more easier to use, and connected
Mhm.
more people. I think that's
Yeah,
there's always going to be that leap. Like instead of buying a computer, that's so much more money, and setting all
yeah,
that
no,
up
totally.
is too much work. Yeah.
And then with this VR system that is out there now, it's like it's just even more connection.
Hmm.
It's wild. Ready Player One, that's where we're headed, man. I really feel
I
it.
think so. Yeah.
Like a full body haptic suit.
Hmm.
Unplugged really talked about. Oh no, Upload the show.
Right.
They really talk about, like, they showed you the future of like full on haptic suits and like
Hmm.
VR headsets. Yeah, it's wild. Anything else about the VR? Because I have one that's kind of related to internet.
No, I mean that's it. I've only played that game so far, so I got to check out the other
Okay,
ones. So.
yeah, definitely play the other ones and let me know what you think, because I think when you get into more open worldy stuff, it'll get more trippy. Cause like you're like
I'm still
stuck in the car.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
okay, it's just I'm confounded to the car.
Hmm.
But like when you start exploring a world, I'm really curious about the kayaking one for you. Cause like, where can you go? You're like, let me go see that over there.
Right,
Let me go
right,
see what's
right.
over there. You know what I mean? It's not like linear. Like
Hmm.
driving's like, okay, I'm just going around the track.
Hmm.
But when it becomes like choice, oh, that's gonna be trippy. Because
Hmm.
you're gonna see something in the distance and you're gonna be like, let me see what's on that island.
Right.
You know? Could be pretty wild. And then like 10 hours will fly by and you're like, oh, what happened?
Yeah,
No, you know what I mean? Like it could get pretty trippy, especially
yeah,
if it takes time to get to the island.
yeah.
That was the thing, like
Right.
Pirates of the Caribbean. No, not Pirates of the Caribbean. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So
Mm,
you can go island. You're like sailing on a boat,
yeah.
and to me that was fascinating because you're like, what animals can I see on this island and
Hmm.
skin and like sell for
Hmm.
pelts? You know,
Right.
sick. Okay, so related to this with the internet, because okay, so TikTok's become, it's not a big, like it's not new, but it's becoming more into my sphere of awareness. Like it's been there, but I've never really focused on it. I'm like, I don't really care about TikTok, right? And you've just been like, I turn on my notifications for TikTok, and you've just been sending me TikToks, and now I get them, so I'm watching them, and I'm like spending more time on the platform, right? And one thing that marketers always ask themselves is, should we move to TikTok?
Hmm.
Okay, and having been on the platform now, I don't think it's a business. It's a business thing. I think that TikTok is the one platform that is TikTok and maybe Twitter, but I feel like nobody's on Twitter. But TikTok and Twitter are so hyper specific on your attention that I don't think there's room for ads. So like as a marketer, we're always like, can we market on this platform, right? And I feel like with Instagram, you can pay to boost it, so it'll come up in your feed. And sure, you might be able to pay on TikTok. I'm not sure. Like I don't know if there's
Yeah,
an
you can. You
advertising.
can. There is
You can, okay,
advertising. Yeah.
okay, cool. So it'll come up in your feed. But the difference between both of them is the tendency to scroll. So for me, on I was like playing around with the home thing, and I was like, oh, this thing is too random, right?
Well, I think it's
It's
still
too
learning. I think you
no,
haven't
no,
been on
no,
it
right,
enough,
right,
right?
yeah, no, no, totally,
Yeah.
totally, totally. So I was like, oh, this
Because it
thing's too
was like
random.
that
So I
for me
asked,
in the beginning.
right, right,
Yeah.
right, right. So no, right, right. Follow my logic here.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's too random, right? Even though I follow UFC fighters on there, because I was like, who else am I going to follow?
But it's
So I
not
started
based on who
following
you
like,
follow.
yeah, follow my logic, follow
Okay.
my
Okay. I
logic.
follow.
So, all right. So I was like to my cousins, this is too random. And then my cousin said the exact same thing, given spend enough time. Once it's there, it'll know what you want to see and only show you that.
Hmm.
Okay. So even though I'm following these UFC fighters, I might not ever get to see their content
Yeah.
because what I'm actually interested in is not their content. It's things that'll like entertain me or like, I don't know, like educate me. Right. So the marketer's job is, our we have regular actions, right? Human beings have regular actions. And a marketer's job is to insert themselves during those actions.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like we're trying to find spots where we can like advertise to you.
Hmm.
But TikTok isn't built that way because of the algorithm. It's too hyper specific on your interests that it's like, I'm not going to show you this ad. Even though they're paying for it, it's like you'll get like a millisecond. You'll be ad. Keep
Yeah.
going.
No. Yeah. So I think what I feel like how it does is more specific ads,
Okay. Keep going.
right? Based on what your interest is at the time. And your interests change. So what you're viewing also ends up changing too. And then you have different ads.
Okay. Okay.
This is
Sure.
how I've experienced it
No,
so
no.
far. Yeah.
Right. Sure. But what is your use for the platform? To consume information at rapid speed, right? Entertainment, to consume stuff. Consumption
Yeah.
at hyperspeed,
Yeah.
right? So if you know it's an ad, are you willing to watch the ad? Or are you
So
going to keep scrolling?
now there's a different thing here.
Okay, cool.
I think
Tell me.
being specific with it being an ad, that's
We're
not
problem
that.
solving for my job right now.
Yeah, being specific with being an ad does not work, right? You have to
Okay.
have, I would say, is it creators?
I mean,
Creators are the ad, so they are like,
oh, product placement,
yeah. So it's like, oh, like
brand ambassadors.
exactly, yeah. It's like, oh, like, like they have to like hit you in like 2 seconds, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then you stay on with the video.
So, all
Where
right,
it's like,
let's say,
oh, I got like 5 cool products, or like 5 things that changed my life, or like something like
Yep.
that. And then they'll list out those 5 things, right?
for sure. Okay. This is perfect. So, all right, let's do it like this. We're literally solving a business case. This is how my meetings usually go. So, I'm fascinated now we get to brainstorm together. Okay, let's say it's I don't want to be hyper specific and then just give away my job.
So like
Okay,
this,
but-
like a lot of the
Wait,
times,
wait, wait. Okay, no, not a product. Let's say a service.
Not a
Let's say you're
product.
doing a service.
Oh, okay.
How do you market a service using TikTok?
Like what
So
kind of,
let's use your example. The 5 things that changed my life. This service changed my life. Okay, cool. But are you going to go down the purchasing funnel to actually do that thing? I get products, totally products, because you can just buy a product.
yeah.
But what about a service now? Let's say it's like a trip. Like this trip changed my life.
Um,
How are you gonna market a service on there?
it's
couldn't
more about
see
the
it.
experience. It's more about the experience. What did they get out of it? What they learned out of it, right? It's like, it's more.
No,
It's
so, yeah, for
like
sure.
a lot of these things are based on personal things.
Uh-huh.
You have to be personal, because then it becomes like it's a real thing, not an ad.
Yeah, no. So I get what you're saying.
So
I get
that's
what you're
that's what would work as a way to connect to people.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw 2 ideas out there, and we're just going to shoot them down because this is like what everyone says. Either as a business, you're going to follow a dance trend. Shot down. Like really? That's actually going to entice people to.
No. So that
want
doesn't
to
work.
follow-
Yeah.
no,
No.
that's we know. Like you're gonna scroll. You're like, that's stupid. That
No,
they're
because
doing
everybody
that.
else is doing it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what everyone says. And then like let's say we do a highlight reel on there of what it is we do. That's also dumb because it's like
It's
I
just
don't really care
that
about
just comes off as an ad.
right. So the only way you could do it, like you said, is brand ambassadorship.
Exactly.
Like they kind of
I
have
feel
to
like
either,
that's the main thing. That's what would
Right.
work on these things, because you have to be
Totally.
personable.
totally. But it works for a product because if they're like, this
Mhm.
product's changed my life, I can just go to Amazon, buy it right away.
Right.
Right. The purchasing funnel is shorter for that one because it's like just click on Amazon, buy it, right? But how do you do it for a service? Like
Maybe it's like, I think it depends on the platforms. Maybe there's like TikTok is much more better with products than I would say services.
that's what I'm thinking.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
people, whenever they talk about something, or like whatever you've bought for the condo, or like some small things, they came from
Yeah.
TikTok.
Because those are products.
Exactly.
I don't think but I don't think you could do services on there.
But yeah, I understand that. That's probably not. Yeah, but I don't know where would services work.
Services would be like Meta because it's like an ad. Take this training. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
it's
I
like do
understand that.
this,
Right, right,
and then you're
right,
like,
right.
oh, let
I
me click
understand
through.
that. I understand what you're saying, but it's like, but those are just ads, right? They come
But
up
they're
as an ad.
but we know they're just ads. But the question is
Yeah.
because everyone in the marketing world wants to jump on TikTok, right?
See,
And
I think that's the thing. I think you
I'm
have to
like,
understand your audience, and you have to understand like how that works. Like
right,
if you, in order to for TikTok to work for you, you have to be personable. Like
yep, for
that's the
sure, for sure,
only
for sure.
way really that it works. Because any
The,
if I'm watching a video that has an ad, it's more like starts off with something personable, and then when I realize it's an ad or it's like it's getting to the
yeah,
ad port, now I was like,
like ew, no, no,
yeah.
totally, yeah, exactly, exactly. But the only thing that I could see is like ongoing stewardship of. So if you want to keep individuals within your ecosystem by being on there, it's sort of like brand awareness. You're kind of like, okay, at least they're on there. Like it's being repeated in your mind. Like, don't forget about us. Don't forget about us. But I don't think you can convert to a sale there. I think you can create brand loyalty on there. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like if I follow like Marriott, for example, right? And then they're not selling to me. They're just doing like random funny TikToks. I'm like, okay, cool, Marriott. It's always in my mind, you
Right.
know? But I don't think you could actually lead to a sale. It's more like we'll keep you in the back of my mind till I need you. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna look for a hotel. Like all right,
Yeah, you'd have to see
let's do
their
the
own
hotel one.
metric. You'd have to see their metrics. Right? I don't know because I don't.
No, no, but like let's logically go through it. Like if you're trying to sell a hotel, right, and you're constantly in the awareness, the next time you're looking for a hotel, you're gonna think, oh, Marriott,
Yeah.
because like it's just in my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I see a Marriott ad, it's not gonna make me go, oh, I should go on a trip this weekend. Let me go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like you
yeah, yeah.
won't convert at that moment, but you'll keep the brand in your mind for when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Because seeing a Marriott ad isn't going to make me suddenly book a trip on that weekend for a Marriott hotel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where TikTok is more of a personal thing, personal consumption versus a marketing platform. I don't like, unlike Meta or like LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn ads or like Meta ads, those are, we expect to be marketed to there, right? We expect to see ads on those platforms. But I feel like we don't expect to see ads on TikTok. Unless it's like not really an ad, like you were saying,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
more
yeah.
of brand placement. It's
Always,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
these things change my life.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I think it depends what you mean by what we use the word marketing because it could be products as marketing, right? Marketing products. So it's like,
Um, yes, but unless it can do everything, products and services, then I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket.
right,
It's
okay.
like one thing. You know what I mean? It's like it's hyper specific.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do like products on there. You need a brand ambassador to like be like, oh,
Yeah, that's
this
kind
is
of
an
what you
amazing
need.
product.
Yeah.
Right. But that means it's limited in its marketing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like Facebook, because you can do the same thing on Facebook, sorry, Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. You can also have a brand ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more opportunities to market on those platforms than there are for TikTok and Twitter.
Yeah, the brand ambassador there would be based on like how many people you're following, right? Because you wouldn't get random people on Meta. You'd only get people that you follow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the search window isn't something that's like it's not like TikTok because I was playing around with it. The homepage is essentially the search.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Instagram, because you use Instagram too, right? You know how you have to go like to the search thing and then it just shows you like things that you might be interested in.
Yeah.
But the home screen is actually people you follow.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
know
You have both on here. Yeah.
on
TikTok.
TikTok?
Yeah.
But it lends itself more
To the other one. To For
to
You.
the other
It's
one,
the For
which is
You is the main thing. Yeah.
yeah. It's more focused on the for you than it is to
That's the
like people you
default.
follow.
It'll go to default is there. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think it's the best platform to market on because the for you is so good that it's like we need to pull like during those regular actions you need like breaks
Mm-hmm.
where we can insert ourselves, But if the algorithm is so good, there are no breaks
Yeah.
because it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's just keeping your attention on things that you care about. There's no opportunity to insert
Yeah.
ourselves
Yeah.
as marketers. Would you agree? Does it make sense?
It makes
Having
sense.
used the
No, I
platform,
understand
like, do
it. I
you?
understand it makes sense. I think no, it totally makes sense. But now it's who's getting more attention. I think that's the thing where it's like if
Mm.
it's if I'm spending less and less hours on Facebook or Meta, and I'm spending more and more hours on this on TikTok.
Right.
So
But
it's so
no,
that
totally. So
that's the
you're saying
attention.
where are your people?
Yeah.
You're saying where's your bigger market,
Hmm.
right? So there's more people on this platform than the other platforms.
Hmm.
I would say that I think that's an age group thing.
No, it's of course it's an age group thing, but I'm saying like
Right.
what I'm saying is like what's this is the battle between the social medias is
Okay.
who can get more hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's how they
And
would sell it to advertisers.
but the problem is
The advertisers
when
should know which is specific to their thing, which
for
makes
sure,
more
for sure,
sense,
for sure,
right?
for sure. But what makes companies run? Money. Who's
Hmm.
giving the money? Advertisers. So if TikTok is amazing, but there's no opportunity for me to jump in as an advertiser, then where's your money coming from?
Hmm.
Like, who's paying TikTok? It'll die eventually if it runs out of money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I
Like,
understand that. Yeah.
it's like a double-edged sword. You
Yeah.
need the marketers in order to provide, unless they start charging money for TikTok. That's because like, where does the money come from? That's really what
Well,
the
or their
underlying
yeah, I think their money comes from the ads. So
TikTok.
yeah.
Right. But if everyone's pumping, if marketers are pumping the majority of their money into Facebook and Instagram, aka Meta, then the longevity for those platforms is more likely than TikTok. So eventually,
Hmm.
I think TikTok will die unless it becomes fully altruistic. It's like, no, we
Yeah.
just only care about, or it'll adapt. Maybe it'll afford those opportunity for breaks. Who knows?
Hmm.
But you need to think about the
But it's
money.
also
Like,
is
where's
very it's right now I wouldn't say like I wouldn't say like those types of like if you're specific with your ads and stuff who you're looking for, like I think TikTok is still a gamble because
yeah,
it could get banned. Like there's so many other issues with how people view TikTok where it's like
the controversy of like
yeah,
stealing your data and
yeah,
stuff. That's another thing to think about too.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I only
But like
this only came,
for like me or like there's people like me,
no,
it's
for sure.
like I don't
I
no
think
what I'm saying is like I when have I last been on Facebook or Meta
no,
other than
for sure.
IG? But IG is only like very specific. It's like oh just seeing an update and then
No, for sure. Like, I think that this is more of a marketing question. I agree with you on a consumer level.
yeah. Hmm.
TikTok is the better platform. I haven't used it enough that it knows my algorithm, but I'm so scared of it though. There's some things that freak me out.
No,
Like,
it's so good. It's
I
crazy.
know
And
that's what freaks me out.
and the thing is that it changes
I know
over time. It changes
that's why
like
it's scary.
it's not based on what you like. It's based on like your viewing habits,
Yeah, no, totally,
right?
for
It's
sure, for
like
sure.
I think it was like um what was it like it started off with something before then it's like when I was going to buy the condo there was like more to house stuff related things or realty sort of stuff like realtor like or like understanding how the money thing works like it was so specific into what it
Yeah,
was giving me and now I don't get the realtor stuff anymore.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
more other things or VR or like whatever it is. It
That's
changes based on that's what I'm saying. It changes based on what is happening in your world versus the other places. What I feel like it's more based on is trying to tell you something when that's not where I'm at right now.
ooh, I see what you're saying. Because now I'm wondering if it can be so hyper specific that
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it
can
would
it only
eventually.
specific? Yeah, those types of people. It could be. Maybe it's getting better and better at that.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I've just shot my own argument because the algorithm could be so good that it's like, yeah, it's not for everyone, but the person that like the conversion rate
Mm-hmm.
might be super high on there.
Might be.
Like it's like it like you might not hit everyone, but the person you do hit will 100%
Right.
purchase this product or service.
Yeah. That's up to TikTok to prove that, right? So.
I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, it could work. Because like you were saying with the condo person, right? So you were just seeing condo stuff. But did you for your realtor, where did you find them? Instagram or TikTok?
No, she had followed the guy for a long time from before. On
Instagram or TikTok?
I think on IG.
Okay. See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It feels more if
But he's like a small
IG
business. Like he's got videos out, like a reel.
that's what I mean. No, right, right,
Yeah.
right, right. But I feel like those are more. See, the thing is, you can do photo and video on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're looking for a house, it could be like this is on sale as the photo, and then you slide through and it's like videos of the house, right? But it TikTok doesn't lend itself to that.
Well, that was giving us the realtor. But then like I was getting, well, since I was using TikTok, I was getting more information about understanding
Tattoos. Yeah,
mortgages and things like that on TikTok. Yeah.
yeah, but that's not selling anything. That's just more of information.
Well, they're selling. I understand that. Yeah. That's
But they're
specific
not selling.
to.
Like,
But
you
they were
didn't buy
being
anything.
specific to. Yeah. No. No.
No, but that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's like maybe it's straight consumption. Like
Uh,
TikTok is just straight
yeah. But
consumption,
for me,
not
like, I don't
conversion.
think I'm ever buying anything through social media.
Fair. I don't think I've ever clicked on an ad.
Yeah. I think we've been always prone to skip ads, right? Like we grew up in that generation where it's like
Yeah.
this is an ad. This doesn't feel real.
But but it's weird though. All right, I'm confused because like my job is to work on this stuff and it does work. I would
Mm.
have to say I'm quite good at my job and my conversion rates are very, very high. But me myself, I've never clicked on an ad. So I'm like, who are these people clicking on these ads that I've created?
There's going to be a percentage of people, right? There's always going to be a
Hey,
percentage of people.
dummies? I'm so confused. I'm just like, how did this work? You know what I'm saying?
I think there are people.
Like my conversion
Yeah.
rate is really high, bro.
Hmm.
Like I'm very good at converting, but I would never fall for my own ad.
Hmm.
So I'm like, who's falling for these things?
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think who it works on is very. I don't say it's specific. It may be specific, yeah, to those individuals that are susceptible to
Maybe they don't.
ads. They were always
Maybe
susceptible
they
to
don't
ads
know.
from before, or maybe they don't know. Yeah, but they could have been
Maybe they
already
don't realize
susceptible.
that.
Hmm. Sometimes, yeah, you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
That's so weird.
Even some videos on TikTok, I don't realize it's an ad, but then when I see the sponsored, then it's like, oh,
Yeah, you're like, whatever, bro. Like the one you sent me, the Filipino one,
yeah,
the history of Filipinos, and then at the end, if you like this AI art, it's and I was like, ad. I like skipped that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is
Well,
I don't know. This is
actually,
one of those
like
things
it
that's like
did. Like,
confusing
remember the
me.
one I sent you with the digital canvas,
Mm, you have to refresh my
The
memory.
NVIDIA digital canvas where he was like changing the water and then the
Oh
sky,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that was
so
crazy, bro.
that one got me. Actually, that kind of worked. That one got me to the website.
Yeah, okay, but did you download it? Like,
But that's the
it's
thing.
like,
It's like, can I? You gonna? Well, I was on the phone, right? I have to download it on the PC. So then you have to convince me to get onto the computer to type it in and search it.
right, right.
And then, am I gonna remember it by that time?
Yeah, that's true.
If there's other people talking to me and telling me other things.
We call that like a bounce rate. So that's like once you've landed, you're like, I'm done.
Hmm.
So you've bounced from the thing. So maybe like getting to the page is really high, but then the bounce rate is super high as well.
Hmm.
It's like, oh wait, I got it to click, but I didn't actually download the app.
Right.
I'm sticking by my stance until proven otherwise incorrect. I don't think TikTok is the move because it's just too good at its algorithm. Like there's no room for a marketer to jump in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Maybe, but if it's too good, maybe you have to make ads that are that good to be able to fit in there, to
It's
be
like,
specific.
oh no, or yeah, you have to be even more sneaky. You have to be even more clever
Yeah,
in the way you deliver it.
yeah.
It's like we can't. It's so hyper specific. We can't rely on the standard like video B-roll footage of like this thing and trying to convert you. It's like you need that
Yeah,
secret
yeah.
product placement.
But I
you're
think,
saying.
I think those are all based on like you have to be specific with your ad style, marketing, and things like that. Where if you're just doing like you said the dance thing, that's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
I was
You can't
actually
do the
looking at.
trend. You can't do the trend. You have to
Can't do
become
the
a trend.
trend.
You can't do the trend.
Oh my god, this is so funny to me. So
You have to make your own
I don't,
trend.
I don't, I don't want to give it away. Yeah, no, totally. So like one of the things that gets floated around in marketing a lot is like, well, we see a lot of dance videos. We should probably make a dance video. I'm like, that's a waste of resources. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna make a dance video, but like everyone's doing the dance video. So what do you expect to get out of this?
Right.
Like I don't actually know where this is leading. But if as a marketer, I think the sloppiest marketers are the ones that this is gonna sound weird. I think the sloppiest marketers are the ones that don't realize that marketing is mind control. It is literally mind control.
Yeah.
Like, how do I make you do something that you don't realize I made you do? Right? And if, as a marketer, you're pitching to me, let's just follow what everyone else is doing, I'm like, you're just adding to the white noise.
Right.
Nobody's going to, like actually like convert that way. You're literally just everyone else,
Right.
You have to do it tactically, like you were saying. Like
And I don't think
these things changed my life.
Right. And I don't think that it even with the ad thing, it's like you can use meta and that. It's not like choosing one or the other.
No, for sure. Just the big question right now in the marketing world is, should we get into TikTok? Which has been a question for like years and years.
Right.
Like 2 years ago, we were having this conversation of like, should we join TikTok? And I was like, no, I don't see it.
Right.
And then having been on the platform recently, which is why this topic got started in the first place, because you were sending me, and me spending time on the platform, I'm like, no, there's no room here. Like it's gonna be too good at like I'm just gonna get like videos of it's a knowledge resource. It's more like that.
Yeah.
It's more, it's consumption. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's like, it's not the primary focus of TikTok is consuming entertainment or information, just consumption.
Yeah.
But it's not about like converting. Even if I saw like, oh, these boxing mitts are really good, I'm not going to go out and buy the boxing mitts. Like that's so like cumbersome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that goes, that goes for any ad, any social media for me. Like it.
No, I actually, I bought products. I've bought stupid products through there's.
Oh yeah.
I got this ad for it's like a couch buddy. It's called a couch buddy. And basically it has like a charger in it. Think of like a pillow with like cutouts so that you can put like your chips, your phone.
Okay. Yeah.
Couch buddy.
Okay.
And then I clicked through because I was like looking for a present for my sister, and then it was a GoFundMe page where you could buy it, but it was like $300. I was like, oh, I'll pass on this, bro. So
that's one of the things that happened to me. It just reminded me, like I was looking for a cutting board.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And it's like, oh, this is really cool. This guy does his own cutting board stuff. I went to his website. I was like, oh, $300 now. It's too much.
Yeah, exactly. So what we do? Went to Amazon. What's a cheaper alternative? Right? I typed in Amazon couch buddy. I was like, oh, $20. Bought this. Like, why did I need the $300 one?
Yeah.
So maybe it's like pushing people inadvertently in the opposite direction.
It depends. What I mean? It's like, yeah.
It's a again, going back to consumption, it's a knowledge or entertainment based thing. It's not going to convert me. Like that was $300. I'm not going to buy this.
But I feel like I don't think something that's $300. I don't think that a lot of people, they're not going to get everybody. They're going to get the few that they know.
But they're also pushing people in the opposite direction. Like they're cannibalizing themselves.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
because then you go there, you're like, oh, there's a cheaper alternative.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
that's
So
what
it's like you
Amazon's
lost
good
that
for.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But that's why I think it works for products. Like TikTok works for products
Mm-hmm.
because you can find cheaper alternatives for those things. But a service, I really don't see it working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so to go to the two things that freak me out digital wise, I'll see how you feel. ChatGPT, we talked about this in length, and
Mm-hmm.
TikTok. Those are the two platforms that I'm so reluctant to use, but everyone's using them. I was having this conversation with Tara, and like she's like, "Yeah, ChatGPT is really good for like these quick like slogans, right?" I'm like, "Oh, I hate using it." She's like, "Why are you so afraid?" And I'm like, "It's just too smart. Like it's gonna know me too well, and I don't want that." Because then it's like, who's in charge?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like, I think you're overthinking this, but
Right.
it's like, no,
No,
this
it's
is really a
true.
thing.
No, yeah. I mean, TikTok can be addicting, and that's what they want
That's
to
what I
do.
mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
It's
Who's
true.
in charge? Who's in charge here?
Yeah.
Like you are controlling my attention. Like life is all about attention,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it's not real unless you can pay attention to it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
really,
No. No. No.
really think
No.
about that one.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's a yogic principle.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fundamental human principle, right? Um, is the plane that just passed over my head because I'm near the airport, is it real? No. To the people there, it's real because their attention is I'm on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
but my attention is on you.
Right.
So anything that's happening around the world right now, it's not real to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if an algorithm is so good at hijacking my attention, I'm a little screwed
Mm-hmm.
because it's like you're making me choose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if
But it's
that's a good
it's
example for
it's.
this.
I understand what you're saying, but it comes to like it's like the chicken and egg thing, though, right? It's like
No, here's my question. How do you know what you don't know? It's impossible.
yeah.
You
Yeah, yeah.
can't know what you don't know,
Okay.
right? But if something is showing you things, feeding you information, then you can become aware of things that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or should I like break it down
No. No. I understand that.
with it, right? So I feel like things like ChatGPT or TikTok, if they can hijack your attention so well, you will show me what I don't know and I'll want to pursue what I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what scares me. Because it's so good at not only attracting my attention, but keeping my attention.
Yeah.
Right. Even though like the algorithm chat GPT, it's like I have to punch in something, but like my question becomes the I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
And
like,
you're
what is
asking,
this? And
asking.
it shows me.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like Google, right? Google is
Right.
technically like that too.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why it scares me. Because it's so good at like at feeding you knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But is that the knowledge I want to know? You know what I'm saying? So think
Yeah,
about
I
it
see
this
what
way.
you're saying. Yeah, I see what
Um,
you're saying. Yeah.
And then you get into the loop.
Did I really need
right?
to know
So
that?
it's like,
Or yeah.
did I really need to know that? It's like, did you know that there's a war going on? Like, all right, I was just talking about the war in Ukraine because it's like, and that's right now, 1 year anniversary, war in Ukraine, right? And then it's like, oh, did you also know this? Did you also know this?
Mhm.
Oh, back in this stage, you know this? And you're like, oh my God, so much information about negativity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This algorithm is just like brainwashing me into a negative state,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's why people, you can either,
Yeah,
like,
based on your algorithm, yeah, negative or positive state. But I think a lot of people,
right?
go to the negative. Yeah.
Which is actually my next topic, which is so interesting that we talked about it. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, who's in control?
Yeah.
I don't have unless you have the self-awareness, which I'm finding people don't even know
No.
that there's a
Yeah.
separation of like mind. They still think, which is one of those like states where I'm like, it's a privilege to have known this, but like there's a difference between your mind, your thoughts, and who you are. People think that what they think is who they are,
Mm-hmm.
which is not true.
No.
Right? You can change that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, start thinking of a different way.
Yeah.
Right? You've just been in like you think your mind is who you are, right?
Mhm.
So if an algorithm can hijack your mind, you're at the whim of your mind. You don't have the sentience to be like, wait, this is an algorithm. Wait, what am I doing to myself?
Right.
Right? And that's that's how algorithms will rule the world
Mm-hmm.
through like our fear, because fear sells, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why fear sells is it's like survival.
Mm-hmm.
We need to look at survival at all times.
That's our. I would say that's like an instinctual
Like,
thing, right?
yeah,
It's an instinct thing.
instinctual,
Yeah. That's why it works.
right? That's why it's like if it bleeds, it leads, because you need to know this or else you're going to be in danger. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'm going to watch this, right? So, okay, so there's that. So now the final topic, because we're right out of time and it leads well into this, is where is society headed?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that the last 2 years has shown us, and I don't know where society's going right now. No, for real though,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
so
yeah.
many people with contradictory statements that I'm like, did you think about this logically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait, I won't give away the exact
Yeah.
example that we were talking about in the chat, our friend chat. That'd be too bait. But this here's my like analogy. So it's like if you listen to something, they're like, this is the best way to approach something. Okay, and then all of a sudden their last sentence becomes, but I also disagree with that. Now you're like, to the people who are aware, they're like, wait, did you just say you disagree with that whole argument that you spent this entire time
Mm-hmm.
trying to build? But then the people that aren't aware, that ignored that last sentence or didn't put the two pieces
Right.
together,
Right.
they're still thinking about like, oh, well, they were loud in the first 90 minutes of this thing, so that last sentence didn't count.
Mm-hmm. Well, also
Do you
like,
see what I'm saying?
but also it's like attention span, right? You're gonna get people in the beginning, but they're gonna drown off at the end. They're not paying attention to the end part.
Facts. That's facts too. So that's why I'm saying where we go with society.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know anymore. Like I feel like our attention is so limited that we are not only at the whims of algorithms, but like we don't even have enough bandwidth to comprehend things logically.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you all right, if you told me that, okay, if I said this to you, I'm like, okay, this is what this thing means. However, not everyone agrees on what that thing means.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that tell you that there is no set definition for that thing?
Right.
But that's like a logical process that I don't feel a lot of people have the bandwidth to put together.
There isn't self-reflection happening. I think that's what that is.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
Right. You should not be.
Oh, it's a myriad of problems. It's
Yeah.
like you don't even realize that your ideas are not you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not self-reflective enough to realize that like your argument might be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that where you're gonna?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where there's not
Where were you gonna-
like they're not reflecting on what they're actually saying.
Yeah, they're
What-
just saying what's loud.
Yeah, exactly. They're just repeating what's loud. They're not really.
And then-
they're not. Like, you can repeat a slogan. I don't know what it means. I'm just saying it.
Right. Exactly. And that's why slogans are so great for marketers, right? You have to make them catchy. Like what's a very famous one? I'm loving it. McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Catchy,
Yeah.
simple,
Yeah.
right? People's attention can only hold for a short amount of time, so you need something that's like simple and highly memorable and repeatable, right? But I feel like that is a detriment to logic. I don't know how best to put this.
Mhm.
It's like, and then you have like algorithms that are just showing you the exact same thing. So it's like, I have a faulty idea, right? Like, it's so hard not to give the exact example because I don't want to get any hot water, so I'm not going to give the exact example. But if the idea is incorrect or it's a faulty argument, like this is the definition for this, but none of us agree.
Right.
So logically, that means there's no definition. logically. But if you have everyone, crypto, here we go. This is one that I can use and not get in trouble with. Crypto is the exact same example. So if you think about crypto logically, you're like, oh, this makes no sense. We kept saying it from the beginning. Like, there's no intrinsic value. You're just printing money. How's it going to compete against like actual physical money? These are logical questions that nobody was asking.
Right.
But if your feed is crypto's amazing, crypto's amazing, crypto's amazing, you're going to think crypto's amazing without doing your research. Right. And if your whole algorithm is showing you how crazy crypto is, you're going to believe it. You're like, everyone's talking about how crazy crypto is. Like crazy good.
Yeah.
But if you used a little bit of logical process, you'd be like, this actually makes no sense. But people don't have the bandwidth to enact logical processes. Like, who can explain a blockchain?
Right. No.
Like, what? But we're all talking about blockchains. You just don't get the blockchain technology, bro. You're like, what are you talking about? Explain it to me. Well, just the way it's it's so difficult to explain. That's all I ever get.
Right.
Like, I've asked so many people, like, what does this thing mean? Just break it down for me. Well, you take the thing and the other thing, and then like, oh, it's high level though. That's all I ever get. It's just it's like it's too high level. It's like that means you don't know.
That means you don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Like every idea, they have this like saying in business where it's like if it can't be written on the back of a business card, it's not worth anything.
Right.
Because you should be able to break down the idea, because that's how you sell ideas, right? Like I pitch you. That's what an elevator pitch is. Like literally an elevator pitch. It was created because you have time in an elevator to pitch the idea. It's like as you're going to the next floor, they're like, you better tell me in 30 seconds because we have 30 seconds to get to this floor. You know? And if you can't tell me what something is in 30 seconds, then it's really probably nothing.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what the crypto and like the other topic I was talking about is like. It's like we have a bunch of people with incomplete information arguing for something they don't really understand, even if it contradicts itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is why I think as society we're like kind of messed up now. Because it's like, if this is how we're operating mentally, what's going on?
I think it's an ebb and flow thing where it's like these things are like that, and there's a reaction to the opposite way because there's a lot of people think the way we're thinking.
The way we're thinking. Sorry, I'm just getting a text from Tara. We gotta end this. She's like on her way home. Okay. But I agree with you, but we're not that loud, and we're the only ones being like.
I'm not saying that.
Let's think about this logically.
I get that. No, I'm not saying that I agree with you. We're not that loud, but I think that it does end up changing eventually when it does come into like too much impacting us. Yeah. Then there is a reaction.
Oh, now we're just like, but I feel like that is what's happening right now. Like people,
it's slowly happening,
but then they get canceled. Like Jordan Peterson or something. You know, he's like, that's a logical statement. I don't agree with everything Jordan Peterson says. I'm just like, let's just think logically.
Yeah.
I'm not married to my ideas. If you can prove to me, that's why I'm always sitting in on everything. I'm just like, just tell me what it is, bro. Like, and like, let's just work through this together. You might have a good point. I might be wrong.
Right.
But then when I hear something that's contradictory, I'm like, do you also hear the contradiction in your statement? But they don't. They're just louder. They're like, well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Until someone has to do that step in.
No, but then they get canceled. That's my fear.
No, I get that. Yeah, I'm not saying that everybody should do it, but there will be people that they're maybe it's like
they're not even canceled. Maybe they just get told to quiet down. You know what I'm saying? It's not canceled. It's like
right.
Rocking the boat a bit too much.
Right. Or you have,
like, okay,
or it's like,
fair.
Or it's like Elon Musk having more power that he can do whatever he wants right now that he owns Twitter. Let's just say.
True. But well, I mean, that's the few and the far between, bro.
No, of course, yeah. But that's why like America, you can see like Congress wise, it's like 50-50, right?
True.
It's very two opposites are happening here.
Yeah. We're polarized as a society.
Yeah.
which is not good for society because then you have two people battling.
Yeah,
We're
that's
not
this is
unified.
how it works like that sometimes in societies.
I think we're hitting like post-COVID sobriety now. Like I feel like all of these issues like crypto and like the other issues that came up during COVID, it's like we had too much time in COVID. Stay at home. It's almost like everyone had a come to Jesus moment in COVID time. It's like they had enough time to sit still and be like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But they didn't do the homework of being like, it's almost like you had a really intense drug trip, and now you're thinking that that drug trip was reality. It's like, no, that's just the drug
And
trip, bro.
yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you know what also
Not that they
happened?
had drug trips.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah,
What also happened was TikTok is what grew during the pandemic.
people were bored, bro.
So there's
Yeah,
more
no,
of
but for
those,
real though.
the algorithm that they're convinced with.
And yeah, and you get the vacuums. Yeah, totally. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I think like as we come out of COVID, there's so many psychological ramifications from
Mhm.
COVID. I don't even think it's just like the depression that everyone talks about, like the isolation, like mental health in
Yeah.
schools is huge right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the only thing that's going on. I think like confusion is going on. I think a lot of people realize some stuff during COVID, but they don't know how to um like execute on it,
Mhm.
if you know what I'm saying. Like it's like you need to be grounded in reality.
Right.
Then my best example is the drug trip. It's like you'll realize something during a drug trip and you're gonna think it's so real, and then the rest of your life you're gonna like follow in that
Yeah.
direction. But it's like no, let's also ground ourselves in reality here. Like that dragon that you saw come out of the sky isn't real.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was just in your mind.
Right.
That's how I feel about like everything. It's like yeah, crypto wasn't the move, but you got into it half
Mhm.
knowing because you had nothing else to do,
Right.
or like other issues that came up aside from crypto.
True.
And that's why you're seeing it fall now. And that's why
Mhm.
you're seeing more anger in society because like people grew these ideas and they're holding on for dear life about these ideas
Well,
that
yeah,
they
because
had during.
there was like things like, for instance, like playing Hogwarts Legacy, like
Yeah, okay, yeah.
that was too much,
Yeah.
right? When they were saying like, if you play the game, you're transphobic. What?
And you're like, bro, what? It's just a game.
Yeah, exactly. So
But
but that's where the reaction happened. Like when you hit too far, there was an opposite reaction to that.
oh, I see what you're saying. It's like the regular people. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's like regular people like you and I are just like, okay, whatever, do your thing, bro, do your thing. And then it's like now you're getting too loud, bro. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
Chill.
Exactly. I think that's
Oh,
where
I
it
see what you're
is.
saying. It's like most people are just like, okay, live my life, live my life. Oh, they're getting wild. All right, whatever.
Mhm.
And it's like then you get bumped,
Yeah.
while you're living. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
then everyone's like telling you, chill out, bro. You're high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's actually a really good example. It's like they're just getting high in the
Yeah.
corner, and you're like, bro, you're interrupting my life now.
Mhm. I think that's where it
Yeah,
is.
it could be
Yeah.
it. Yeah, okay, I agree with you.
And
But
that was one
that's
of
the
them.
sobriety,
That was one of them.
the transphobic.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Hogwarts Legacy thing, the attack on that.
chill. It's just a game, bro.
Yeah. Because then I
This
was
is
seeing
all.
other. I was seeing some other TikToks where they're like, uh, there's other transgenders that do play the game,
I
where they're
know. So
like,
it's ironic.
where they're like, no, that those guys are taking it too far.
Oh, I see. I see. Like
That's
the,
also
the
happening.
logical
Yeah.
transgenders are like, yo, don't mind us.
Yeah.
Don't mind them.
Yeah. Most people
You know
don't
what?
think. Most people don't think like that. That's what they're
You know what
thinking.
that's like? That's like a stoner. Like there's like sober people, and then there are stoners that are like tripping out way too hard, and then there are stoners that also can live life normally.
Mhm.
So it's like yeah, don't mind them. Sorry, they're being weird.
Right.
They're too hot right now. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, it's like, dude, if you want to be trans, whatever, who cares,
Exactly.
whatever, bro.
Yeah.
But then and then the trans people are like, yeah, they're tripping, bro. Like I love Hogwarts too. Like yeah, this is where we are in society. Just like oh, that's what it is, quieting down the people going off. That's what's
Mhm.
happening. That's the sobriety post COVID.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just feeling it a lot right now. It's like,
Well, yeah,
are we paying attention?
you're surrounded by it, right? So I can see that in that sense.
I'm like, are we paying attention? Let's just look at this logically, guys.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I need to be logically proven wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think we'll end it there right before Terry comes home. Anything else? Play that VR, bro. Next week we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Slowly. Yeah. Trying to get through God of War. So let me finish that too.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
They're doing the games. They're doing like the Last of Us thing where they're Kratos is now talking about his first family.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. So there's it's like bringing back his he had a daughter before and a wife that he
yeah.
It's
like Last of Us, bro.
It's like Last of Us. That's what I was like, interesting connection here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I haven't had time to play it, but it was a good game. Maybe I'll jump back
It's
on
more
that.
towards like, it's not like the first game. Like it's not very, it's good. It's very like story heavy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So and it's still like the older games too. A little bit of the fighting and stuff. Like other monsters.
Slashers. Yeah. Cool. All right. Stoked to hear about your experiences for next week. Is there any movies coming out?
No.
We're skipping Ant-Man. That's just not too bad.
I'll just wait for Disney Plus. It'll probably be out in a couple months since it's gonna do bad in the theaters. So
maybe Creed 3, but
I'm not really into. I haven't watched any of the Creed, but I'm not really into that one.
Yeah, same. All right, whatever. All right, till next. Oh, did you watch? No, you didn't watch Babylon because you've been playing.
No, I haven't played. I watched it. Yet.
Wait. All right, we gotta talk about Babylon.
All right, I'll see if I can watch it tonight. We'll see.
You'll love it. Like, no. Watch it closer to the podcast. Like, so it's like.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like, don't do it today, and then you're like, what happened? I'm like,
All
right, till next week. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.
Bye. All right, hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors, Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.